People. Que pasa, suck, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the meds. Call it news with a buzz. Now, it seems as if Jamaica justice system is really a joke. It seems as if our Prime Minister is non-existent. It seems as if our DPP, our Commissioner, all that are associated with persons in Jamaica getting justice, they are non-existent. Pretty much it is a total joke. Now the other day we saw that this lady, the one suspect that they've held so far as it pertains to that SSL debacle, Gina Panton, she went to court and she was seeking some sorts of comfort, saying that the facility in which she's staying, it is not appropriate, and she's having seizures and she's having all sorts of stroke. Needless to say, we know that this lady is a liar, we know that this lady is a thief, and we know that this lady is going to try everything within her means to buck the system, as if she has not bucked the system enough already. So anyway, she went to court and she asked that she get bail because she has some sorts of seizure and she has stroke. And then the DPP's doctor, he came in and he said that yes, she complains of some sorts of stroke and seizure. However, upon my examination, physical test, I do not see any sorts of symptoms that would verify or validate that. Now people, when we think about what has been going on with this SSL case, it is a shame on Jamaica, it is a shame on the system. So I said to myself, I am wondering if and when her lawyer had called the facility in which he was kept, what the conversation would have been like. And people, I am kind of under the weather. You can hear the difference in my voice. However, the work must go on. I wondered what that conversation would sound like. So I said to myself, I am going to give you my interpretation of what might have happened, transpired, when her lawyer, Mrs. Harris, called the facility and she was on the phone with the person, the top warden at that facility. So people, ring, ring, ring. The phone rings something like this. One of the CO answered the phone. Hello? Mrs. Harris says, hi, how you doing? She says, who is this? She says, I am Mrs. Harris, QC, ABC, JBC, all sorts of title behind my name. I am the lawyer that represent my client, Mrs. Gina Panton. The man then says, so who you want to talk to? She says, I would like to speak to the person in charge, the manager there or the warden. Him say, hold on a minute. Him call the warden. Warden, sergeant in charge, somebody there on the phone for you. Who that there on the phone for me? I want lawyer. She says she want lawyer, sir. Alright, tell her me so come. Hello, how you doing? This is Sarge, this is whatever. How can I help you? My name is Tamika Harris, QPC, ABC, JBC, TVJ, all kind of title. I am not really happy with what is going on with my client, Miss Gina Panton, because based on what she told me in conversations that we had on the phone, the bed is not very comfortable. There's no sorts of whatnot. There's no Figaro. There's no sorts of toaster oven or anything like that. So that for her comfort. Well, hold on a minute, lady. You know which part she there? You think she there are Rio? You think it's a 5-star hotel? Or where you think say? We are going to buy furniture from Coats and Gear for your comfort. You know say this lady is a big thief. You know say this lady thief from Mr. Usain Bolt. I want you come off of the phone and take it up with the court. So people, when you look at this lady, Gina Panton's history, we saw that a month before she got arrested, she was out in all sorts of designer clothes, designer bag. She was painting the town like one of the Kardashians. However, as soon as them hold on pan her, she have wheelchair, she have walker, she go to court, she try to get bail the first time, claiming that she cannot walk, she is immobile, claiming that she have all sorts of physical ailment, and these ailments were from she was a child. However, when she was thieving, she was out partying, blazing up some sorts of storm. However, when she get held or get hold, we say she in a wheelchair, she in a walker. So it brings us to the conclusion that this lady is some sort of nominated actress for some sort of Oscar. She is a liar, she is a pretender, she is a thief. Talk about thief. Talk about the system like I said. The title in this video. The system is a joke, including Andrew Holness, including Mr. Nigel Clark, including the Commissioner, including Fitz Bailey, including the DPP. Now people, we know that since this SSL thing, everybody in a Jamaica has said, then hold on a minute. All these top big wigs in this company, nobody now get no sorts of question, no sorts of suspicion, no sorts of allegation upon them name. How them now get arrested, how them now get charged, how them now get locked up. People, we've seen the head, Hugh Croskery, file some sorts of defamation of character against some sorts of blogger. And people, it even got worse. The other day, this man went to court in the presence of his lawyer, Peter Champagne. There was some sort of injunction stating that, listen, this man should not be allowed to handle any sorts of money as it pertains to trading on the stock market in Jamaica again. There was an injunction that was placed on him through the company SSL. However, for some sort of reason, this judge, in which we think that them have sense, we think that these are the people that are going to make sure that the victims, all 9,000 people, including Usain Bolt, get some sort of justice, and all those that are responsible are held, locked up, charged, and get multiple decades in the big yard. People, guess what? The polar opposite happened. This judge release or lift the injunction against this man. So pretty much what it means and what they are saying, based on what his lawyer Peter Champagne have said, is that he had no sorts of idea that any sort of fraudulent activity was going on in his company. None of the 9,000 victims, including Usain Bolt, he had zero knowledge. He was ignorant to the fact. So therefore, he cannot, will not, and should not be held accountable. And people, this jackass of a judge decide that it makes sense. So therefore, where was the prosecution in all of this? Where was the DPP's office? Where was the person that is supposed to be getting justice for the people in Jamaica? What was his or her side of the story? What was his rebuttal? What did he have to say based on the history of SSL, based on the history of the Cross-Carries, based on the history of Eagle Group, which includes the father, based on everything that we've seen as it pertains to all sorts of Ponzi scheme and people? This was one of the biggest, maybe the biggest Ponzi scheme ever so far in the history of Jamaica and people. There has been a whole lot. This is the most recent one where everybody internationally, locally, I look on the system and I look on the stock market and I said to themselves, no sir, this might be the watermark thing that makes everything change in Jamaica. But people, like them say, the more that things change is the more that it remains the same. And that is because whenever you have thieving judge, crooked judge that are bending over, pretty much sucking up these people, meaning the Cross-Carry, the Hardys, all of the thief, and then you have investigators including Mocha, FID, and all of them that are pretty much turning a blind eye. And even if they want to investigate this case, they cannot do so, or else they will lose their job and even lose their life. They will be blacklisted in Jamaica. So people, you tell me now, when the whole world and people with sense, people that have justice, people live overseas and see how justice really run, sees that nobody is above the law in a place like America, in a England, in a UK, in a Canada, places like those. And we wonder why we see all these thieving going on in Jamaica. And we wonder why people like in sport, you see them thief $200 million. At separate, you see over $160 million. All over the place, all of these financial institutions, all of these banks, all of these loan players, everybody have all sorts of thief working in there. And people, instead of getting better, it is only going to get worse because we have the system facilitating these white-collar criminals. So therefore, they will continue to do it as long as they can get away with it. Because when they analyze, assess the risk and reward, the amount of millions and billions that they can get, and if they know people in the right places, in high places, meaning the High Court, the judge, the DPP, the commissioner, the prime minister, and also the finance minister, they will never see a day in court. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like this, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. And last but not least, please subscribe to my next channel. The description is in the link in this video. Bless up.